Another day, another story. Welcome to our channel, where we explore some of the most fascinating stories from history. Today, we're delving into the tragic tale of the Titanic. The Titanic was once the largest, most luxurious ship in the world, with state-of-the-art technology and a crew of over 900 people. But in the early hours of April 15, 1912, the Titanic struck an iceberg and sank, taking the lives of over 1,500 passengers and crew. Despite its devastating end, the story of the Titanic remains one of the most captivating and enduring tales from history. Join us as we dive deep into the history and legacy of this legendary ship. The Titanic was a British passenger liner that sank on its maiden voyage on April 15, 1912. It was one of the largest and most luxurious ships of its time, and was considered unsinkable. The ship was owned by the White Star Line and was built by Harland and Wolff in Belfast, Northern Ireland. The Titanic set sail from Southampton, England on April 10, 1912, and made stops in Cherbourg, France and Queenstown, now Cove, Ireland, before heading towards its final destination of New York City. The ship was carrying over 2,200 passengers and crew. On the night of April 14, 1912, the Titanic struck an iceberg in the North Atlantic Ocean, causing the ship to sink. The lack of sufficient lifeboats on the ship resulted in the deaths of over 1,500 people, including passengers and crew. The sinking of the Titanic was a tragic event that had far-reaching consequences. It led to significant improvements in maritime safety regulations and practices, such as the requirement for ships to carry enough lifeboats for all passengers and crew, and the establishment of an international ice patrol to monitor iceberg danger in the North Atlantic. The story of the Titanic has been the subject of numerous books, movies, and other forms of popular culture. The shipwreck was discovered in 1985 by a team of researchers led by Robert Ballard, and the wreckage has been the subject of ongoing scientific study and exploration. Construction. The construction of the Titanic began in 1909 and took 3 years to complete. It was designed to be the ultimate luxury liner, with amenities such as a swimming pool, gymnasium, Turkish bath, and a squash court. It was also equipped with state-of-the-art technology, including a wireless telegraph and an advanced watertight compartment system. Maiden voyage. The Titanic's maiden voyage was highly anticipated and attracted many wealthy and influential passengers, including businessmen, politicians, and celebrities. The ship was captained by Edward Smith, an experienced sailor who had been with the White Star Line for over 30 years. Sinking. The Titanic struck an iceberg at 11:40 p.m. on April 14, 1912, and began taking on water. Despite efforts to save the ship, it eventually sank at 2:20 a.m. on April 15, 1912. The sinking was caused by a combination of factors, including the ship's speed, the lack of binoculars for the lookouts, and the failure to heed iceberg warnings. Rescue efforts. The rescue effort was initially disorganized, with nearby ships not responding to distress calls from the Titanic. However, the Carpathia, a ship from the rival Cunard Line, eventually arrived and rescued over 700 survivors. The sinking of the Titanic remains one of the deadliest peacetime maritime disasters in history. Aftermath. The sinking of the Titanic had a significant impact on the world, prompting changes in maritime safety regulations and practices. The disaster also had a profound effect on popular culture, with numerous books, films, and other media depicting the tragedy. The Titanic has become a symbol of the dangers of hubris and overconfidence in technology, as well as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit in the face of adversity. Passengers. The Titanic was carrying passengers from all walks of life, including wealthy businessmen, politicians, artists, and immigrants seeking a better life in America. Among the famous passengers were American millionaire John Jacob Astor IV, businessman Benjamin Guggenheim, and Macy's department store owner Isidore Straus and his wife Ida. Crew. The Titanic had a crew of over 900 people, including sailors, engineers, and service staff. The crew included men from over 20 different countries, reflecting the global nature of the shipping industry at the time. Survivors. Only 706 passengers and crew survived the sinking of the Titanic. Women and children were given priority for the limited space on the lifeboats, and as a result, a higher percentage of women survived than men. The youngest survivor was a 2-month-old baby, and the oldest was a 92-year-old man. Wreckage. The Titanic's wreckage was discovered in 1985 by a team led by Dr. Robert Ballard. The ship had broken into 2 pieces and was located over 12,000 feet below the surface of the North Atlantic. The wreckage is now a protected site, and there have been ongoing efforts to preserve and study it. Legends and myths. The sinking of the Titanic has generated many legends and myths, including stories of a mummy's curse on board the ship and the idea that the Titanic was doomed from the start because it was built with inferior materials. However, many of these stories have been debunked by historians and scientists. Legacy. The sinking of the Titanic remains a tragic reminder of the dangers of overconfidence and the need for better safety practices in the shipping industry. The disaster has inspired many works of art and literature, and the story of the Titanic continues to captivate people around the world. The end of the Titanic story is one of legacy and remembrance. In the years following the disaster, there were significant changes made to maritime safety regulations and practices. The International Convention for the Safety of Life at Sea, SOLAS, was adopted in 1914, and it set new standards for ship design, construction, and operation. The Titanic disaster also had a lasting impact on popular culture. The story of the Titanic has been the subject of numerous books, movies, and other forms of media, and it continues to captivate people around the world. The sinking of the Titanic has become a symbol of human vulnerability and the need to be vigilant in the face of danger. In recent years, there have been ongoing efforts to preserve and study the Titanic's wreckage. The wreckage is now a protected site, and there have been numerous expeditions to the site to gather information and artifacts. The Titanic's legacy continues to be a reminder of the importance of learning from the past and working to ensure that tragedies like this never happen again. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of the Titanic. This incredible ship may have met a tragic end, but its legacy lives on. The Titanic has taught us important lessons about safety, technology, and the human spirit. As we remember those who lost their lives on that fateful night, we also celebrate the resilience of the survivors and the many ways the story of the Titanic has inspired art, literature, and culture. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to our channel for more stories from history. Thanks for watching.